Guys, how you doing? Stephen from James Glenn Car Sales. Welcome to another random candid car review. It is 47. I'm going to get to the garage. The guys will have set the car out for me to drive. I've got no idea what it is, and I've got to make a video. The video will be as candid as I can, which isn't very hard because I generally like to just say things how they are, not sugarcoat stuff, and I'll let you know honestly what I think of it. So last week the guys were kind enough to kit me out with a Toyota Aygo, which was very, very nice of them. Hopefully in this episode we've got something a bit more fruity that I can get towed in and share what I think about the car with you guys. Just in case you're wondering, this morning the sound quality might not be just quite as good as you would like, because essentially we're in a 20-year-old tin can, otherwise known as the Jimmy Glenn Track Mini. Just in case you hadn't guessed already. If you would like to find out more about this awesome wee car, there is a video of it on this very channel. I will put the link in the description. If you want more content of this R53 Mini, just let me know and I'll gladly tell you about it in it, let you hear how awesome it sounds, telling you about how great it handles and how much fun I've had in this car over the last 8 years. I will be at the garage in about 5 or 10 minutes, which I'll catch up with you then. Until then, I'll let you have a wee quick listen. As you can probably guess, fully road legal, even has stereo, Bluetooth and air conditioning. Anyway guys, I shall catch you at the garage just shortly. So we are here. It can't be anything else like the Aygo. The only other car I've got that's not the same as the Aygo, but on the same sort of theme as a Skoda Octavia. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be that. Anyway, we'll find out very, very shortly. The moment of truth is near. Got some nice stuff in. Hopefully one of the more interesting ones will be awaiting me inside. Oh, what have we got? Thank you, gentlemen. We have 6 cylinders, folks, and we have a supercharger. Let me show you what it is. That's more like it. Let's get these lights on. Enjoy. PS, this really needs fuel. Be an awesome boss. Stick 20 quid in it when you're out and save me a job later. Cheers, Lee. Yeah, I think that's called, is it multitasking or 2 birds with 1 stone? But yeah, I'll gladly put fuel in that. That is certainly a decent upgrade from the Aygo. The Aygo's decent, but not for making videos. Yeah, I think we'll have a bit more to work with this week. Let's get started. Okay guys, so I definitely think we've got to start this video with a cold start. 200 hours were put into tuning the exhaust on this car, which is so refreshing when so many manufacturers just rely on pumping it through the speakers. The guys at Jaguar have actually done it the old-fashioned way, through the exhaust. Let's hear what it sounds like. And obviously, flaps got to be open. It's like a preset. So the car's cold. I'm always one for a bit of mechanical sympathy. Thankfully, yeah, 28 miles. That'll get me to the petrol station. Anyway, I will gladly put fuel in this, get out on the road, let's hear what it sounds like. Let's take it out. Guys, let's just take a wee moment before we head out and just look at how utterly beautiful the design of this car is. Now, bearing in mind, this car is approaching 10 years old, and by and large, it's pretty much the way it was on release. There has been a few design changes to the headlights, wheels, interior, infotainment, things like that, but generally the architecture of the car, the overall design remains the same. And if that's not aging gracefully, I don't know what is. So we are now with fuel up at the legendary Peggy White's. That was a close call. They seem to go from 28 miles to 1. And the last time I checked, Peggy White's is about a mile and a half from the garage. Anyway, we made it, and we are now on the road in the achingly beautiful Jaguar F-Type R-Dynamic 380 brake horsepower. So a couple of things to note about this car. We're on 29,000 miles, so it's a very, very fresh car. It's on 2 owners. Anyway, I'm default going into salesman mode, and that's not what this video is about. We're basically looking to see exactly what the car sounds like, how it makes you feel when you drive it. I'll give you a rough idea of what it handles like. At the end of the day, you know, I'm not a motoring journalist, but I can certainly give you a wee idea of what the steering's like, what the brakes like, what the box is like, throttle response and all that kind of stuff. And on this very, very busy Thursday morning, I'm quite glad that it's got good pickup. So I've almost failed already, and we've just started. I forgot to put the exhaust into noisy mode, which should really just be the default setting. On this exhaust, it is fantastic. I will shut up for a moment and let you hear. Now, I've got a couple of mics in the car. I've got one for myself, and I've got one back here, which I really, really hope is picking up that unbelievably beautiful sound. I mean, it really, really does sound like a car that's had time spent making it sound just right. In the world of, you know, digital, where they can manipulate cars to sound exactly how the manufacturer wants through the aid of electronics and through the speakers, and I'm pretty sure that sometimes they pipe it in through the car, which I suppose in a way is probably not isn't too bad, but you really can't beat just good old-fashioned engine noise getting fired out the back. Now, the exhaust pipes themselves they're so chunky, and there's something really, really nice about having 2 centrally mounted exhaust pipes. I know the 5 litres got the 4. I'm going to say I think the 2 centre mount pipes are, for me, I think that's definitely the preferred choice out of the 2. I'm not biased or anything. I don't have a Boxster with 2 centre pipes, honestly. So where this car sits in the market, I mean, you'll get a good one of these for about 25 grand. So I'm just going to pull off here because we've got some traffic lights up there, and that's not going to be a very interesting video. So what other cars is this competing against? So, well, as it would happen, I was looking for a 981 Boxster. I was getting a wee bit puffed out looking for the one. So I thought, you know, I'm going to look and see what other. I was looking for the Roadster. I was going to see what other cars are out there, and the F-Type came up, and I was genuinely interested in finding out about it. If you look hard enough, you will actually get these cars in a manual. Now, we had a manual coupe in red, and I was pretty excited to get the car out and drive it to see what it was like. But I know everybody gets really, really excited about manuals, myself included. I really don't think it suited the car. I felt that when you were changing gear, if you didn't get the clutch and the accelerator absolutely bang on, it felt like the revs just wanted to run away in between gear changes, which I know that it's nice when a car's got not a fault or a flaw, but when it's got a characteristic and you've got to drive round it, it makes you want to try harder to get the best out of the car. But I just didn't like it, if I'm honest. And in addition to that, this has got the sweet gearbox. This has got the ZF 8-speed, which the changes are so sharp, and the down changes so childlessly satisfying, if that is even a term. But put it this way, it's one of those cars you want to just down change it for the sake of it. You get a real lovely burst of revs, accompanied by obviously that glorious soundtrack that just, it's always there, but it's never annoying. I mean, we're just going up a slight hill here, 2000 RPM, and the roll-on, the roll-on performance is lovely. But I suppose that'll be, yes, we have beaten the traffic lights. Fantastic. So we're just coming out of the wee village here. We'll be in a 60 very, very shortly. I'll drop the car down in speed, and then we'll give it the beans and relish in that beautiful V6 soundtrack. I'm pretty sure this V6 isn't a Jaguar unit. Apparently it is made by Tata. So anyway, from what I've heard, they have been unbelievably reliable. The 5 litres, not so much, and I'm pretty sure that the 2 litre petrol is of Jaguar's own making, like the V8, and that has got its issues, let's say. But anyway, we're not here to bash on other derivatives to make this one sound better. This one sounds better all on its own. So let's get this down to second. Ready? Those gear shifts leave you wanting for absolutely nothing. And to be honest, the performance is just a bit bang on as well. There's not, like, you're not fighting keeping it going in a straight line, but you can just feel that it's, it's right, not right on the limit, but you can feel the back tyres working. It doesn't feel overwhelmed or anything. That was just a nice straight line. We've got good temperature, it's nice and dry, and the car's on Pirelli P0, so it's on a proper tyre as well. So it's a car that you can really, properly ring it out without sitting here shitting yourself, waiting and it breaking away. There's no flicking the traction control and stuff like that, which you can sometimes get with M cars. They've got so much torque from those boosted engines that, it does feel a bit overwhelmed, but some guys like that. I mean, I quite liked on the old M2 that I had, putting into the kind of halfway house MDM or whatever it is when you turn traction halfway off. You felt it moving about. Not everybody likes that. I've been out a few test drives and some big power rear wheel drive cars, and as soon as the car starts to move, that's it, not interested. But this, it's nice to have a rear wheel drive chassis, but one that doesn't feel like it's going to rip your head off every single time you want to indulge in a bit of performance. Cabin is very, very Aston Martin-esque. If you go on any of the Aston Martin forums, they call this bit the ski slope. We found out because we had a DB9 with a rather, no other word for it, a rancid interior trim. It was like maple wood. It was horrible, and not to mention it was all beginning to break down. Anyway, Lee took that off, but had to go online to find out, and that's called the ski slope. This is exactly like an Aston dash layout. Even the way the glove box tapers down. Does it have the hand built feel of an Aston Martin, like all the yards and yards of leather, hand stitched and everything else? Nope. But are all the electrics nicer to use? Yes. Are all the electrics bespoke to this car? Yes. Are they lifted from a Ford or a Volvo? No. So I think that's definitely a bit of a win in some respects to the Jaguar and a win in others to the Aston. But what you need to remember is, these cars are a fraction. Sorry guys, I'm just going to give us another wee blast up here because it's good. It's probably worth pointing out we're in the wee racy flag mode, so this is as dialed up as it can be, which, why wouldn't you? But no, getting back to the comparison between an F-Type and an Aston Martin. An Aston Martin buyer is probably never going to buy one of these, but if you've got around about 35 to 40 grand to spend, you're in Aston Martin territory. You're in a DB, you're in a Vantage or a DB9, but they'll be old, and they're going to be expensive to maintain, and they're going to rust as well. I'm sorry asking guys, they are magnificent looking things and they sound great and they drive pretty good, but the build quality can't hold a candle to these F-Types. It really can. It's like a modern day classic, because if you look at this thing, it could be, you know, it's hard to put an age on it. The overall shape, as I mentioned earlier, has been out for 10 years. It still looks fantastic. They've released the new model. Normally when that happens, the old car immediately looks out of date, but it doesn't. So it's I get into this car and I wanted to start talking about stuff that I don't like about it first, to try and just give the video some balance. I don't like the steering wheel, for one. I think it's too big, and yeah, but to be honest, it's genuinely, guys, this is the first time I've properly taken this car out and driven it, other than driving it to make sure that it works. It's a really, really nice place to be. You sit dead far away from the window. You know, it's really theatrical. It feels, probably one of the downsides, it feels quite big on the road. It feels really, really wide. I mean, the passenger seat feels like, you know, light years away. That being said, the seats themselves are absolutely fantastic. They're beautifully sculpted. Really, really nice seat to sit in. This car's got the Meridian audio system, which is thumping good. It's really, really nice. The bottoms of these doors have actually got a subwoofer in them, so there's little wonder why there's so much body to the sound. The clocks are pretty basic. You've got a TFT display in the middle, giving you some various bits of information, and then you've got an analog clock on the left, 190, which is a bit optimistic, and then your tacho to the right. When you put it into sports mode, it all lights up red and stuff like that to make it feel a bit more kind of sporty, which again, you know, is not really, you know, it's like, when you've got a sports car, it is pretty much, it's a big toy at the end of the day. So you want it to do cool things, like, you know, when you put the heating on, the vents pop up out the dash. When you get in the car, the start button pulses like a heart, albeit you could buy a Jaguar XK. Let me try again. I forgot my Jaguars. Basically, you could buy any Jaguar and it will do that anyway. But, you know, it's nice to have. Did I mention these seats? I don't know if they're an upgraded seat or not, but they are lovely. The coupes can come with a glass roof as well, which really opens up the cabin. Personally, I like a car without, because I think they handle a bit better, because you've got less weight at the highest point of the car. Some people aren't really that fussed about, you know, having the ultimate handling dynamics, and would rather sacrifice that for a nice light cabin, which I fully get. One of the reasons why we sell so many cars with pan roofs quicker than cars without. But generally speaking, it's a really, really nice package. Yep, it's not M-car fast, it's not Porsche tactile, you know, the steering is as good as it is. In fact, a 981 Boxer steering's alright. It's not 997 or 996 good, because it's obviously E-Pass. So I would probably say that we're kind of splitting hairs in the steering direction, the steering department, I should say. It would absolutely blow a standard Boxer into the weeds. The 3.4S Boxers are pretty quick. Not really sure which one would be quicker, probably splitting hairs. The main thing for the Jaguar over and above kind of its competitors really is the looks. I mean, it is just a eyeful of a thing, and it doesn't have a bad angle. This car's got a fixed rear wing. Most of them come with a kind of active fin. It's like a blade. Everybody likes a fixed spoiler. This has got one. I think when the normal car has got the spoiler tucked away, it almost looks like a dog that's had its tail neutered. So if you are looking for one, they are quite rare actually, trying to get one with a fixed wing. But it's definitely worth, you know, looking out for one. It just finishes the bum off that little bit better. So guys, that's I think that's me pretty much said my piece about the F-Type. Oh wow, a Citroen AX with a roll cage. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, it's as I say, it's like a modern classic. I know that phrase is coined to death these days, but it does look like something that's been brought back, brought forward in time. Almost like a kind of resto mod. I mean, you just need to look at the back end, and it's pure E-Type Jaguar. don't think anyone can buy one of these and be unhappy with it. I'll just finish off with some window down action.